straps and seemed to be as lethal as she was. For your choice of occupation, you have a rare low pain tolerance, Mason noted. They were working for a special agency called Intelligence Investigations. Zoe pushed her long brown hair off her bare shoulders. But I wouldn't give for a martini, she said. You steal that from James Bond, Mason joked. No, I like mine stirred, she replied. She and the much taller Mason were both subtly scoping out the ballroom. Just make sure you don't look inside that file. The agent's information oath is about to be terminated, and he's highly classified, Mason reminded her. A piercing jolt of pain shot up from her foot, and Zoe cringed. Every sway was painful. You just keep those baby blues of yours on the lookout, she smiled at Mason as the song ended. They casually parted ways. Zoe entered the bathroom through the door in stunning evening wear, but she left it through the window wearing black slacks and a turtleneck. A frown formed across her lovely face when she realized she would not be able to change shoes. There hadn't been room enough in the bag for a spare pair. Her sore feet got to the ground and the heels sunk into the mud. Zoe bit her lip. Ouch, she hissed. Carefully, she closed the window and hustled to the other side of the house. Guards were lurking everywhere, keeping Zoe cautious as she peeked through windows until she found the office. She swung down through the window, recalling her destination. The clock had started. Zoe slipped her fingers around one side of a portrait frame and pulled it off the wall, revealing a black combination safe. Zoe wasn't much of a code cracker, but using an old lighting trick on the digital screen, she discovered the answer. She swiftly pulled out a small box, and upon opening it, found numerous manila folders. Reading the labels one by one, Zoe flipped through them frantically. She ripped the correct folder from the box and tossed it on the desk. Turning back, she closed the safe and replaced the portrait. The door was starting to open and men came into earshot. So he snatched the file from the desk and yanked open the window. She wasn't fast enough, however. What are you doing in here? A tall guard demanded from the doorway. Zoe decided scrambling out the window was her best selection, but the guard raced around the desk and pulled her back to the floor. She responded by throwing her elbow in the man's nose and down into his stomach. Her left hand remained gripped tightly on the file. Her latest enemy did not take kindly to the beating and pushed her to the floor. She used her feet enthralled with pain to take him down at the ankles, knocking him over backward. The man plopped down beside her and began pulling her over by the leg. Zoe noticed she no longer had the file in her hand, and she wiggled in the opposite direction she was being dragged. Her body was contorted across the hardwood floor, but she was holding her own against the guard. Her sweaty fingertips grazed the edge of the papers now spilling from the file folder. With one last desperate ploy, she used her menacing heels to knock out the guard as she kicked him in the temple. His grip on her leg vanished, and she lunged for the papers. A picture of the agent was plastered across the top page, and Zoe recognized it instantly. The image was her own face. After climbing back out the window, Zoe braced herself against the wall, trying to catch her breath. She found Mason with the car on the opposite side of the yard, and as she climbed in the passenger seat, she threw back her head. Was it that bad? Mason asked. She didn't respond, reaching down to her blistered